She mocked my voice in public. I found out she's been cheating online. My wife 31F and I 30F were at a restaurant to celebrate a big milestone in my career. I was talking about my career in voice acting, which I absolutely love, before she decided to insult me by saying, "You should be a mime instead so no one has to hear you talking anymore." 024. My wife always makes a lot of jokes like these, basically insulting me, which I usually don't pay too much attention to. This joke in particular really hurt me because I used to be very self-conscious about my voice due to being bullied for years about the way I used to speak. So this hit me really hard. She also knows this was a hard point in my life, and it was very hard to get past it. After she said this, I just said, "Are you serious?" Before standing up abruptly and walking away. I didn't tell her where I was going. 052. But I drove to my studio and have been here for the past few hours. She's been blowing up my phone with calls and messages about leaving her at the restaurant to pay the bill. It was an expensive restaurant, and I usually pay for our outings as I make more money, and for leaving her stranded as I took the car when I left. I'm not sure if I'm overreacting, as my wife always says this is just her sense of humor, and I need to stop being a snowflake, but she's blowing up my phone calling me immature for 120. Leaving over a joke. Am I the for leaving her at the restaurant? Edit. Since a lot of people are referring to me as a man husband, he/him, I am a woman me, and my wife are lesbians. Update. My wife is unemployed and has been for the past few years. She was working in a very toxic company and ended up leaving due to it taking a toll on her mental health. I don't care that she is unemployed, as my salary is enough to support both of us comfortably. The restaurant was only a 10-minute drive away from our home, and she had the house 153 keys, so she was not locked outside. Me and my wife have known each other since we were teenagers and have been married for 5 years. We have always got along well, but things have steadily been going downhill since she has been unemployed. I introduced my wife to playing games online after she was unemployed, since she had a lot of free time and didn't know what to do. I thought we could bond over this, and I even ended up buying her complete setup. As time has moved forward, my schedule has gotten a lot busier, and 222. She has been spending most of her time online and honestly has seemed quite disconnected from reality. We have had many arguments about her change in attitude and lack of interest towards me in our relationship. Most of the one we talk of, if I tell her about something good that has happened to me, she says something out of pocket, but always ends up playing it off as a joke if I press on it. Despite this, she is also very lovely and sweet sometimes, so don't think of her a bad person anyway. For the update, I ended up messaging my wife 252 while I was at my studio that I wanted to take some time to think first, and that I would be coming back home in the morning to talk with her about what happened. I also apologized for leaving her and not telling her where I was going, but she didn't reply, which is a little unusual considering she was blowing up my phone. I got pretty worried that something had happened to her, so I ended up driving back home at 2 to 3 a.m. 3:16 m. in the morning. I found her drinking alcohol at home. I've had a suspicion for a while that my wife has been drinking secretly, but every time I try to ask her about it, she changes the topic or avoids me. When she saw me, she asked why did I come back home, and that she didn't want to see me. She seemed pretty drunk, so I tried to give her some water and sober her up a little, but she just knocked it out of my hands and started yelling at me about how I embarrassed her, that I'm ruining everything for her, and a lot of insults. After her outburst, she locked 3:45 herself away in her bedroom. I ended up looking through her PC. I'm not proud of that, after as I saw a few comments that she could be cheating on me or that she resents me, and she's been sending nudes to multiple different people online. I haven't really spoke to her since that happened or brought up what I have found. This happened a few days ago. We have only said a few words here, and then since that night I have been staying for as long as I can at my studio every day since this happened. I don't know how to, for 12, face my wife or even look at her anymore. It's gotten to the point that I can't even focus on my work properly anymore. A lot of comments pointed at abuse, and after really evaluating the relationship and how I've been treated these last few years, I can really see it. I was so blinded and kept thinking to myself that things would somehow get better, but I think it's best to take some time to myself. Now I've spoken to a few lawyers about divorce, but I'm still waiting. I'm not sure where my wife will live or how